American retirees spend $5,007 a month, but even in Europe, you can live better on half of that. I'm not going to send you to some war-torn corner of Eastern Europe. These are real places like Portugal, Spain, and a few surprises where $2,000 a month gets you a damn good life overseas. I've done it myself. I'm James Nuveen, founder of the Freedom Files, and I've lived in almost 15 countries, helped hundreds of Americans retire abroad, and cut my cost of living while improving my lifestyle. Let's start with Greece. I'll be honest, when I first told people I was headed to Athens a few months ago, even my own mom said, "Isn't that just a layover city?" But the Athens I experienced in 2025 is a totally different story. This city is alive. It's growing fast. It's more cosmopolitan than most people expect. And it's no longer just for history buffs or budget backpackers. It's now a genuine contender for American retirees, especially if you're looking to cut your cost of living or taxes in half without sacrificing your quality of life. If you're interested in the tax portion, we broke their special tax regime down in a recent video linked in the top right, wherever that is over here. But here's the catch. Greece isn't cheap in the way people think of Eastern Europe. Yes, prices have risen. Greece has emerged from its economic turmoil a decade ago, but it still remains one of the most strategic lifestyle bargains in Europe. The trick is knowing how to spend your budget. Let's say you're in the US, spending $5,000 a month between rent or mortgage, healthcare premiums, groceries, dining out, transportation, and general life expenses. Here's what that same lifestyle could look like in Greece. You can rent a modern one-bedroom apartment in Athens or Thessaloniki for $600 to $800 a month. If you want a nicer view or a place on the coast, you're still likely under $1,500. Fully furnished, no property taxes, no HOA fees. Compare that to $2,400 a month for the average US renter over 65. For groceries, fresh tomatoes, fresh olive oil, cheese, seafood, all locally produced. A month's worth of groceries for two people comes in at just about $500 to $700. And if you're solo, it drops closer to $350, $400 a month. This is far better than what you're eating in the US, too. Just trust me. If you enjoy dining out as I do, you can enjoy a wine and lamb dinner at a sit-down tavern for $15 to $20 per person. I consistently had meals under $20 in Greece that would cost $60+ back home. As far as transportation goes, you don't really need to own a car. Athens has a clean, affordable metro system, and even intercity buses and ferries are cheap. Expect to spend about $50 to $75 a month tops for all your transportation needs. That's insurance, gas, maintenance, gone from your budget. Healthcare, this is the one that shocks people. Basic medical care in Greece is decent and affordable. You can pay out of pocket at local clinics for even less. Prescription meds are often under $10 a bottle, and I meet expats who see a private doctor for the price of a US copay. Here's how the math adds up though. Our clients are consistently surprised that yes, an American retiree can live comfortably in Greece for $2,000 to $3,500 a month at the low end. And it comes with sunshine, ancient Greek history, some of the best cuisine I've ever had, a Mediterranean pace of life, and no more snow. Now, if Greece feels like a hidden gem, wait until you see what life looks like in the Balkans. Because our next country, Serbia, is where geo-arbitrage really starts to kick in. Now, if Greece was the Mediterranean surprise, Serbia is the Balkan bargain no one talks about. But maybe that's on purpose. Most Americans can't even find it on a map, but for the Freedom Files retiree, Serbia has been an underrated lifestyle hack in Europe. Let's start with the capital city of Belgrade. Big, gritty, lively. Novi Sad is also a considerable expat destination. It's a smaller, cleaner, more peaceful, and in my opinion, a better long-term fit for most retirees. Here's how it stacks up. A modern one-bedroom apartment in central Novi Sad runs about $500 a month. Want to cut that even more? Move just outside the city center, and you're looking at $400 a month or less. In Belgrade, rent is higher, of course, closer to $800 a month for a similar space in the city center. Still compare that to the US, and you're slicing housing costs by 70, 80%. Electricity, heating, cooling, water, garbage, all the utilities for a 1,000 square foot apartment can cost $150 a month in Novi Sad and $200 a month in Belgrade. And that's for full service. Local markets are filled with fresh produce, meats, and baked goods, which Serbians love. A couple can eat well, very well, for under $500 a month in groceries. Eating out is also a steal. A 3-course dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant, about $45 total with wine. Public transit is cheap and efficient and not full of rats and scary people. Local buses in Belgrade are even free now. Taxis offer a great deal too. If you're thinking about investing in Serbia and potentially even getting citizenship, the price per square meter in Novi Sad is around $3,000, while in Belgrade it's closer to $4,500. I've seen some gorgeous new build apartments go for the equivalent of what a US kitchen remodel would cost. If you're retiring on a fixed income of, let's say, $2,000 to $2,500 a month, you can live very well in Serbia. For US citizens who feel squeezed out of home ownership, sick of outrageous rent, or just ready for something different, Serbia can be a soft landing. If you've been to Serbia, let me know in the comments. Did you get a similar sense of these prices that I'm talking about? Okay, but what if you still want that Central European vibe with a strong economy and EU access? Spain is one of those rare countries where the dream and the reality can actually meet, but only with the right plan and expectations. I've lived in Madrid, I've lived in Barcelona, I've spent months in Sevilla, Granada, Cordoba, Marbella, Malaga, and all across the Costa del Sol. And the truth is, Spain can be affordable. Let's address the obvious. Housing. Spain is in the middle of a housing crunch, especially in the cities that Americans love. Marbella, Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla. Demand is sky high, especially from foreigners. Landlords often require 12 months of rent up front, plus a deposit and an agency fee. We've helped clients navigate this dozens of times through our housing search service. But make no mistake, it's overwhelming. Expect to pay $1,500 to $1,800 a month for a decent apartment in a good area of a small town. I'd budget more like $2,000 for a good apartment in a city in Spain. For a villa on the coast, if you got a little extra budget, you're looking at $2,500 to $5,000 a month. That's why so many of our non-lucrative and digital nomad visa clients in Spain lean on us for help with the property. You can check out the video in the top right all about moving to Spain. The day-to-day life in Spain can be surprisingly cost-effective. Shopping at places like Aldi or local organic markets, a couple can spend 500 to 800 euros per month eating well. That's fresh produce, cured meats, cheeses, an incredible olive oil, and a hell of a lot of wine. You can dine out with your significant other at a local Spanish tapas bar for 25 to 40 euros total, including wine as well. Even one of Spain's many Michelin star meals won't come close to US prices. Spain has one of the most affordable and well-connected transit systems in Europe as well. You can get by on 50 to 100 euros per month using public transit and high-speed rail alone. Spain's public healthcare system is also top tier, but not immediately accessible to new arrivals. That's why expats typically start with private insurance, which runs about 100 to 200 euros per month for two people depending on age. Ridiculous, right? We help all of our Freedom Files clients get this set up during their visa application. So what's the bottom line? A couple can live comfortably in Spain for around 2,800 euros to 4,000 euros a month, especially in smaller towns. Solo retirees can drop that even lower. But Spain is not Vietnam. You can burn through that budget really quickly. Now, wait until you see the stability, the economic upside, and EU residency benefits that Poland and Portugal have to offer. Let's go there next. All right, Poland doesn't show up on most retire abroad lists, and that's exactly why you should be paying attention. I like to call it Europe's sleeper pick. One of the fastest growing economies in the world, now stronger than Japan, by the way. EU access, thriving cities. You won't find beaches or a Mediterranean pace of life here. But if you're looking for safety, infrastructure, walkability, history, and affordability, Poland really does deliver. Warsaw or Krakow are modern yet historic and beautiful, clean, and rising fast. And for American retirees, it's an absolute cost of living masterclass. Here's how it breaks down. In Krakow, you can rent a modern one-bedroom apartment in a good area for about $1,000 a month. In Warsaw, expect slightly higher prices for something similar in the city center. These are fully furnished, clean, centrally located, not bottom of the barrel. And you're still paying less than half of what you pay in Boston, Seattle, or Florida. Because Poland is positioned above the 49th parallel that separates Canada and the US, you will need some extra heat and electricity costs in the winter. All right, food-wise, Poland wins big. Whether you're shopping at Lidl or a weekend farmer's market, a retiree can eat well for $300 to $400 a month. And while Polish food won't make any top 10 lists or make you drool, the cosmopolitan cities of Krakow and Warsaw will have plenty of the international cuisine you desire. Expect extremely cheap beer and mid-range prices at good restaurants. Both Krakow and Warsaw have excellent public transportation, Cabs and Uber are reliable, and monthly transit passes are under $30. The intercity rail network is also one of Europe's best. Fast, clean, cheap. Most retirees we've helped settle in Poland never even bother buying a car. New expats usually opt for private health insurance, which we help set up for clients applying for residency or a long-stay visa. Great inclusive plans can cost as low as $50 a month per person if you're healthy, and you'll be shocked at what you get for that price and how little paperwork you'll deal with compared to US systems. So, all in, a solo retiree can live comfortably in Krakow or Warsaw for as little as $2,000 to $3,000 a month, depending on your living situation. You're not getting the beach, but you're getting safety, walkability, and so much history. And now for the expat golden child, a culture that welcomes Americans with open arms. Portugal has earned its crown as the expat darling of Europe. Here's the truth. Most people are looking in the wrong places. Yes, Lisbon has exploded. Prices there have surged beyond what most retirees should consider. With landlords jacking up rents and golden visa program updates, special tax regime restrictions being floated to cool off the foreign buying frenzy. But if you know where to look, places like Madeira, Porto, Faro, and the lesser-known Algarve towns can offer one of the best retiree lifestyles in the world for a fraction of what you pay in the US. Now, let's take Porto or Faro, for example. In these regions, you can find a one-bedroom apartment for around $800 to $1,500 a month. Even on the coast, outside of peak tourist areas, you can stay below $2,000 a month. A two-person grocery budget averages 400 to 600 euros per month, especially if you shop like a local. Think markets, continent, pingoose, and yes, that includes wine. Eating out, a full sit-down meal for two often comes in under 60 euros total. Some of the meals I've seen in Madeira, like grilled octopus, wine, and dessert, so good. Now here's where Portugal really shines. Healthcare. This is the part that makes American retirees do a double take. You're used to spending $2,000 a month on insurance premiums and still worrying about coverage gaps, right? In Portugal, you can get high-quality private health insurance for $100 to $150 a month for two healthy retirees. And Portugal really deserves recognition as a blue zone culture with Mediterranean, California-like weather year-round, fresh food and produce, healthy lifestyles, etc. Our Freedom Files clients live significantly more healthy here in Portugal than they did in the US, and it's one of the most common feedback items we often hear. But if you're wondering how to move to Portugal on the D7 retirement visa, the DH digital nomad visa, or the golden visa, we've got you covered. Click on the tag in the top left, I don't know where that's going to be, and watch that video. Here's the kicker. Portugal offers citizenship in just 5 years, one of the fastest timelines in the EU. So what's the grand total? If you're living solo and modestly, $2,000 to $3,000 a month gets you a great life. For couples, I'd budget closer to $3,000 to $3,500 a month for a realistic, comfortable budget. If you want a more complete breakdown of the most retiree-friendly international destinations for Americans, we compiled a 162-page relocation guide for you. And it's free on the website. That wraps our tour of Europe's 5 most affordable, retiree-friendly destinations. Or stick around and click on this video to learn the top 7 countries where our clients and US expats in general are heading in 2025.